is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Fantasy Time. I am your host, Jacob Cutler, the Fantasy Guy, and I hope you guys are enjoying that new intro because it gets me fired up every time I see it. Welcome back to another episode. You know what it is, it's a Friday episode, so we got another weekly edition of Meat on the 50 for you. Of course, I am joined by one of my best friends and partners in this journey, Brandon Sullivan, and together we are breaking down the slate of games on tap for you this week, right? We're breaking it all down. Last week, he did solid. Myself, it's not good. We'll take a look at it in this video. We're going to break it all down. We're going to see what happened. But, you know, starting us off, we got the Thursday night game, right? Happened last night for you guys. The Jets and the Colts. We'll see what happens. Could be a snoozer, but we'll see what happens there. But nonetheless, I hope you guys are ready to go. So if you guys like what you guys are seeing, please smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, and then just tap on that bell notification. That way, anytime new episodes drop, and they're dropping every Tuesday and Friday, you're right there. You're right there to consume the content. You're right there just, because we're always dropping the knowledge, right? We are always dropping the knowledge. It's right there for you to pick up, shove it in that brain of yours, and then shake it around, and boom, better fantasy player, better knowledgeable football human being, right? Because that's what we strive to do. If you're not growing, you are dying. So if you like what you see, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and then just tap on that bell notification to stay up to date on all the latest content. Without further ado, let's get right into it and another weekly edition of Meat on the 50. Alrighty, welcome back for another weekly edition of Meat on the 50. As always, joining me, one of my best friends, Brandon Sullivan. Brandon, long time no see. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Excited to jump into another week. Feels like the season is flying right on by. We're about to start the second half of the season, so it should be a good ride for all of us. I'm excited to see what this second half and the ending half of this season has for us. Yeah.
I mean, last week was an interesting one. Right? The lack of exciting games was made up for some exciting play that we got to see. We saw some craziness last week. 3 backup quarterbacks somehow, some way found a way with one ending up in Canton, ending up in the Hall of Fame. Yes, Mike White's jersey and football are in Canton Hall of Fame because he ties Cam Newton as one of the only quarterbacks to debut passing over 400 yards. So that's crazy. But let's look at the results. Last week, and then we'll get into our takeaways. So, putting up the overall season totals. Boom. All right. So right now, as it stands, we got you at 64-43, 7-0 on the guaranteed victories. Myself, 70-37, 5-2 on the guaranteed victories. Not too bad. Not too shabby at all. So let's look at how we did this week, right? And for those of you who haven't been following along, or who have been following along with our weekly episodes, you know that this man right here kills it every week when it comes to a certain category. Absolutely kills it. For those of you who are new, welcome to the show. We're glad you're here. And this man over here kills it every single time for the guaranteed victory. Let's put it up on the screen. Boom! 10-5. 10-5. Nailing again the guaranteed victory with Buffalo over Miami. On fire. Absolutely on fire last week, right? For the season. Let's put it up there. Boom. 74-48. Whew. Last week, breaking 60. This week, breaking 70. Can he break 80? We will see, right? And did you have any doubt, right? For those of you who've been following along, did you have any doubt? Well, I don't think so. Let's make it official. Boom! Right there. 8-0, baby. 8-0 on the guaranteed victories. Killing it, murdering it, butchering it, slicing and dicing it up. Can't get any better right now. On fire. Now comes the hard part. Turning to myself. It was a rough week. for the fantasy guy. It was rough. I could not catch a break. No matter what happened, I could not catch a break in any of these games. None of them. I cannot catch a break. Let's get this over with. Let's put it up on the screen. Yes. Everyone sees it. 5-10. Yeah. Okay, I get it. It sucks. All right. The only bright spot that I had last week, right, was us nailing our guaranteed victory. Other than that, throwaway week, right? Throwaway week, right? For all my Ted Lasso's fans, right? I'm gonna have the memory of a goldfish, right? A memory of a goldfish. We're just going to. Wait a second. What was I talking about? Exactly, right? It doesn't matter what happened last week, right? Looking at the results for the season. And my, how the ties have changed, my friend. Let's put it up on the screen. Boom. 75-47. Yes, that means that I am only holding a 1-game lead. 1 game separates you from the season total. Talk about a comeback right there. Talk about a comeback. For the guaranteed victories, 6-2. I'll take it. I will take it. All right. In looking at last week, real fast, we're not doing 4 takeaways this time. We're only going to do 3. Give me your 3 takeaways from last week.
Well, the Patriots are definitely a better team than I thought after beating the Los Angeles Chargers. I thought that they had a really good showing and performance there. I'm impressed with how the defense was able to shut down Justin Herbert. So I think they're a very good team, and I think that they should have a very good second half of the season. I think the Saints are a little bit better than I thought after coming out and beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I thought that was a really impressive victory for them. Give them some credit. They have been, pretty resilient all season, it seems like, and they've won some pretty big games. So I got to give them credit there. And then my final takeaway. Man, can the Raiders ever catch a break? They didn't even play this week, and it's just a takeaway that I have to bring up. I mean, Henry Ruggs, man.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
What are you doing? I mean, this is my thing. You're about 20, 21 years old. You have the best chefs. You have the best trainers. You have the best training facility. You have money. You have the dream job. You're a wide receiver in the NFL. I mean, you're not a quarterback where you're having to make all these quick decisions.
Yep.
You just got to run your routes and understand the plays. I know it's, easier said than done, but if that's your job, that's your job. You've been doing it your whole life. And to drive around in a car at 156 miles per hour with a loaded gun, with the blood alcohol level with twice of what it should be, and just recklessly crashing and ending somebody's life and injuring other people in your car, and then not only that, ruining your career. Man, the Raiders can't catch a break. They just cannot catch a break. It's just, like, as soon as something goes right, boom.
Basically.
That's my takeaway. The Raiders can never catch a break. And I'm not surprised it happened in Vegas.
Yeah, right? Lesson learned, right? Do not drink and drive, right? My 3 takeaways.
Don't drink and drive.
Yep, don't drink and drive.
You have all that money. Take an Uber. And I think you made a really good point. We talked about this offline.
Yep.
The Raiders need to organize something for the players so that, transportation system, so that if you are drinking or you are under the influence, whatever it may be, you can't put other people's lives at danger as well as yourself.
Yep.
Because when you jump in a car, you're putting yourself at danger, one, but you're also putting the lives of other innocent people in danger as well, and we saw what happened. So it just shouldn't.
Yep. It's one thing when it's an average Joe Schmo doing this. It's another thing when you have a kid who has all the money in the world, all the potential in the world, all this life ahead of him. One decision, just goes to show, one bad decision, folks, can end everything for you. So be smarter.
I can't believe it. I cannot believe it still. I'm literally in a loss of words still that this happened. I mean,
Tragic.
he was he was coming around, man. He was that threat, that deep threat that Derek Carr needed. And he's a speedy receiver, and he was having, last year, really bad season. This year, really good season. Right at the wrong time. This had to happen. I mean, there's never a good time for it, but it just, the timing of it, it just seems kind of unreal.
Yeah, no good. No good. My 3 takeaways, the Steelers are lingerers. They linger. They linger, right? They linger, as Saul would say. It seems that they have it somewhat figured out. Now they're contenders in the division, of course, being at 4-3. They might be the fakest 4-3 team, but nonetheless, they're still 4-3. It was an ugly game last week against Cleveland. It was a big division win, though. I'll say that. So that was a big win for them. To me, it looks like the Steelers are beginning to roll, much to the disappointment of myself and the rest of the AFC North. So I hope not for the Bengals' sake, but right now it looks like the Steelers are actually picking up the pieces and starting to turn into that lingering franchise that they are. My number 2 takeaway, and you said it, is this Saints defense is for real. This defense is for real. Shows up, they show up, right? They show up in a big game. They clutch out a big game, and then what happens? They end up losing their starting quarterback. That's not supposed to happen. How does that make sense, right? So we will see what happens with the offense with Trevor Siemian and Taysom Hill. We'll see. But right now, this season has just now become full of question marks with the absence of Jameis Winston. And then my 3rd takeaway, it looks like no matter who is starting for the Dallas Cowboys, they are going to find success this season. Somehow, some way, they are going to find success. The Cowboys are the dark horses this year, I think. And it seems like they're the dark horse every year, but this year more than ever seems like they're an actual competitor. They're an actual, threat to the actual NFL. With Dak coming back off an injury, didn't seem too serious. He seemed fine in warm-ups when they showed him doing those warm-ups on, I believe it was Sunday that they played. Sunday that they played. We'll see. It does help that you're in the crappiest division in football. That definitely does help. Ask Tom Brady and the Patriots. It definitely helps when none of your teams in your division have a winning record. It gives you a massive buffer for mistakes to work on things. So Dallas Cowboys right now are as real as it gets. So, yeah. Whew, Dallas, watch out. Your favorite game last week, if you had one?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there was a lot of good games last week. It probably is the Arizona Cardinals and the Green Bay Packers game. I thought that game was excellent. What about you?
You and I, one and the same. While the Bucs and the Saints were a great game, definitely the Packers and the Cardinals lived up to all the hype that was surrounding it, and they delivered. They delivered an awesome game. And what I'm predicting is a 2-game series. I see this as a 2-game series, so it was a great game. That was probably my favorite game of the season. Definitely the most competitive right now. Definitely the most competitive game right now. All right. Enough about last week. Let's just forget about last week, right? Let's just forget it. Just like a newspaper, right? We are turning the page to the new week. Turning in the page. Let's get into it. Starting us off for us tomorrow. For everybody else, yesterday. We have what I would call a snoozer, but I'm not too sure. It's a snoozer in terms of fan interest. I don't think many fans are going to watch this game. But as far as storylines and implications go, there are definitely some storylines and some implications for this game. So starting us off, we got the New York Jets traveling to Indianapolis to take on the Indianapolis Colts. What do you got for me?
Yeah, this is one of those games where you kind of keep track of the score, and if it's close towards the end, you kind of turn it on to kind of see what's going on because, not a lot of high interest in this game, but, with what the New York Jets did over the weekend and Indianapolis kind of coming together as a unit, this could be potentially a pretty good game. So I'm going to pick Indianapolis at home, 24-21, but I do think it could go either way.
Yeah, the freaking Jets pulled off the upsets last week against the Bengals. Mike White. Who the hell is Mike White? Are you kidding me? All right. I'll let it go. The Jets are traveling to Indiana, putting on another decent performance. I don't think there is enough tape yet to scheme against Mike White, seeing how he's only been on one game. So I think the New York Jets travel to Indiana, to the city of Indianapolis to play in Lucas Oil Stadium and lose. Forget the Jets. Forget the goddamn Jets. The Colts do what the Bengals should have done and freaking beat this damn team. I got the Indianapolis Colts 24-17. Moving on to our Sunday morning games. And we got what should be a good one. We think it's a divisional matchup for us. We got the Cleveland Browns traveling to Cincinnati, the Battle of Ohio. What do you got for me? Cleveland Browns taking on the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, this is always a good game to watch. I'm definitely going to tune into this game. I think that this is a good divisional game. I think both teams are pretty decent. Obviously, I give the edge to the Bengals. I think Cleveland struggles to put points up against Cincinnati, and Cincinnati wins this one 28-17.
I like it. After a tough loss last week for both teams, in my opinion, I feel actually honestly need a win here. Both of them. Like, if both teams could win, they would take it, because both teams, to keep pace in that division, I think need to win these divisional games. These divisional games are like gold. Honestly, like gold, because when it comes down to the end of the season, these records may be only separated by 1 or 2 games, and the division rankings may come into play. So this is a very big game. I think the Bengals are a more complete team, which is very funny to say, because Cleveland, I thought, was going to win the division. But the Bengals look like the more complete team. Can the Cleveland Browns rebound? Is what I'm trying to say. We will find out. If this game was at home in Cleveland, maybe. This game's in Cincinnati at the Jungle. Those fans have been bringing a level of energy that even the players have noticed has not been around for a long time. So Cincinnati's fired up about this team. I'm fired up about this team. I got the Bengals 35-24. It's always a shootout. In the Battle of Ohio. It doesn't matter what the defenses are ranked. This is going to be a high-scoring game. It always is. For whatever reason, this game is always high-scoring. So I'm going 35-24. Cincinnati Bengals get a key victory in this season that is looking nice for them. Our next game up, we got the Denver Broncos traveling to the Dallas Cowboys. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I think Dallas continues their winning streak here. I do think that they beat Denver. I just don't think Denver has enough offensive firepower to match the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas. Or actually Arlington, because they don't actually play in Dallas. I'm going to pick Dallas here. I think that Dallas wins this one 31-21.
Yeah, if Dak is able to return, I think they win this game relatively easy. The Broncos, I don't know why I'm messing up all these team names. The Broncos, now without Von Miller, are nothing to fear. Absolutely nothing to fear. They were like on the brink of not fearing with Von there. With Von gone, no. Away from home, on the road, they're even less to fear. So if Dallas can stay true to themselves and what they've been doing this season, I think this is a relatively easy win for the Dallas Cowboys. Our next game up, we got the Houston Dumpster Fire Texans traveling to Miami, the state of Florida, to take on the Miami Dolphins. What do you got for me?
Toilet bowl this year, I'm calling it. Toilet bowl. I don't know if it could get much worse than this. I hope they don't show much of this on Red Zone.
Of course they are. You already know they are. They're going to show the whole game. They're going to show this entire game.
They're going to show the whole game because, the new video production, they love to put irrelevant games on, right? Yeah. Oh, man. When you got Cincinnati versus Cleveland and you got some of these other games on, please, if anybody from Red Zone is watching this, don't do it. I'm going to say, oh man, this one's tough. I'm just going to say Miami wins this one 17-10.
What a low-scoring game. Okay.
Yeah, okay. A low-scoring game.
I got this as the battle of the crappy teams right here. We have a good matchup. If you're looking at crappy teams, this is the matchup that you want right here. You can't get really any crappier than these two teams. So with the possible return of Tyrod Taylor, I actually think this game might be a little bit more competitive. It's still a battle of crappy teams. However, Tua looks good. besides the Buffalo game, he looks good. Tyrod, if he plays, had this team competitive. He had these teams in games, and he won a game before he was taken out on injury. So this team may be good. This game may be good in fantasy-wise. Fantasy implications, I think this game is good. Visually, we'll see. I do have a high-scoring game. I got Miami Dolphins 38-35. I'm expecting some high action here. Crappy teams. You know, when a good team plays a crappy team, it's going to be usually a blowout. When two crappy teams play each other, usually get some fireworks going. So that's what I'm hoping for, and that's what we will see. We will see, definitely. Our next game up, we got a division. The division matchup. We got the Atlanta Falcons traveling to New Orleans. Let's see how the Saints do. Traveling to New Orleans to take on the Saints. What do you got for me?
Yeah, you know what? I think New Orleans always plays tough at home, and I think that defense is good enough to stop Matt Ryan. So, despite losing Jameis Winston, I still do think that they win this one. They pull this one out. I do think that they win 28-24.
Yeah, even with the question marks around the Saints, I'm still not taking the Falcons. I'm still no. That fake ass team freaking losing to the Panthers. Mediocrity. That's what I smell. That's what I smell when I look at the freaking Falcons. Because that Saints defense is going to handle business, get the job done. I'm going 28-14. Matt Ryan without Calvin Ridley, without a running game, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. This Atlanta Falcons team is a joke, honestly. Our next game up, we have the Las Vegas Raiders traveling to New York to take on the Giants. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I think the Raiders continue their win streak here. I think that they play well on the road against the New York Giants. I do think they win this one 31-20.
I like it. The Raiders, like you said, never being able to seemingly catch a break. Now with the latest decision with Henry Ruggs, the Raiders have now lost their only deep threat that they had on the team. So we will see if they go after Deshaun or OBJ, but they need a receiver immediately. Like they needed it yesterday, right? There are several lessons to learn here. I think the main lesson, obviously not drink and drive, but the other lesson is don't pick the freaking number 2 option when the number 1 is still available. Yeah, Mike Mayock, you freaking idiot. What are you doing? Dumb. Just dumb. I don't understand how you people have jobs. How? I don't understand. Still, with all that being said, with all that frustration coming out, I think this is the only team. I am convinced this is the only team in the NFL that can handle this much crap happening to them in a season and still making it a decently good season. I'm convinced because the Giants are atrocious. The Raiders are good. They're a good team. They keep getting punched in the mouth and getting right back up and delivering blows. So I think it continues. I got the Las Vegas Raiders 28-14 in a guaranteed victory. Yes, call my guaranteed victory. Las Vegas Raiders over the New York Giants 28-14. Our next game, we got the New England Patriots traveling to North Carolina to take on the Carolina Panthers. What do you got for me?
Yeah, like I said, the Carolina Panthers are pretty inconsistent. I think New England's kind of been consistent all season. Even though they've dropped a couple of close games, the consistency has still been there. I think that they have a good enough defense to shut down Sam Darnold. And I do think that they will win this one 24-17 against Carolina.
Yeah, Mac Jones and the Patriots actually look like a decent team, right? They certainly look better than the Panthers. I'll tell you that much. I don't know what it is with this Panther team. I have no idea. Pat's defense, I think, wins them the game. I think the offense keeps them in it, and the defense wins it. Stephon Gilmore, obviously now a Panther, going to most definitely try and make a statement against his former team. I got the Pats handling business here, 24-21 on the road in Carolina. Our next game, we got the Buffalo Bills traveling down to Florida as well to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. What do you got for me?
I got a guaranteed victory.
Ooh, okay.
Got to roll with the Bills again. I think that their defense has been playing outstanding. Josh Allen's starting to get going. I think they're going to have a good second half of the season. I don't think Jacksonville stands any chance in this one. I think Buffalo wins this one 35-13.
You know, just like I say every week, the Buffalo Bills handle business in Jacksonville, and the road to SoFi and Super Bowl 56 is going to run through Jacksonville after they demolish the Jaguars. I got 35-14. Not much more needs to be said, so let's move on. Our next game up, we got the Minnesota Vikings traveling to Baltimore, Maryland to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Minnesota Vikings, Baltimore Ravens. What do you got for me?
I expect this to be a very, very defensive game. I think that Minnesota and Baltimore both have very good defenses, and I think that they put them on display this Sunday. However, I am going to go with the home team, Baltimore. I don't think I think that they're able to do just enough to stop Kirk Cousins. I think they win this one 20-17.
Yeah, you know, and what could be the game of the morning, very well could be the game of the morning. I went back and forth. Initially I had the Vikings, then before, a couple hours ago, I changed it to the Ravens, and then I'm going back to the Vikings. You know, it's a back and forth game for me. I think the Minnesota Vikings goes in there and wins the battle of the purple teams. I think, you know, the teams that are coming off the bye right now are not really playing that good. Right? Not really playing that good for these teams that are coming off a bye. So normally you're supposed to be rested, ready, and relaxed and ready to go when you come off a bye. These teams have not looked that. So I think Minnesota, after playing a hard-fought game last week, it still is relatively fresh. Not many injuries. I don't think any injuries this week, right? Dalvin Cook will play, so he's going to be the guy for them, right? If they got to get that running game going, and that'll open up the offense for Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson. So I think the Ravens may struggle a little bit coming out of the bye. I think Captain Kirk and the team are fresh coming off that tough loss at home against the Cowboys, and I just think because of that, Minnesota will get the win on Sunday, 28-24, and a really good game. Really good game. Moving on to our afternoon games. We got the Los Angeles Chargers traveling to the city of brotherly love, taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. What do you got for me?
This should be a pretty good game. However, I am going to go with the Chargers. I think they bounce back. I think Philadelphia, you know, they had a really good performance against the worst team in the NFL. Not to take anything away, but I don't want to get too high on them this soon. I think that they're still struggling to find their identity as well. I think the Chargers do have their identity. I think that they're a really good team, and I expect Justin Herbert to have a really big bounce back game. I do think they win this one on the road in Philadelphia, 31-24.
I like it. You know, in a game that the Chargers honestly have to have, they have to have this game. I think they go into Philly and do exactly what I expect them to do, which is end their 2-game losing streak with a relatively easy win over a crappy Eagles team. Right? Again, I'll say it and I'll say it some more. The only good thing about that team is Jalen Hurts. Everybody else on that team is garbage. You know, even with the destruction, like you said, of the Lions last week, the team is still bad. Right? The team is still bad. So I got the Los Angeles Chargers winning a shootout. It's going to be, I got a high-scoring game. I got 35-25. But I think the Chargers get back on track and handle business, further challenging the Raiders for the top spot in that AFC West division. Our next game up, we have, and it was supposed to be an absolute thriller, but a certain somebody decided to be Mr. Selfish. And we got the Green Bay Packers traveling to Arrowhead to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. What do you got for me?
Well, prior to finding out that Aaron Rodgers was going to be out, prior to that, that news breaking out, I was picking Green Bay. So, but I am going to have to retract that pick because Jordan Love's going to be starting. I'm not sure. I haven't seen much of him. I don't know if he's going to be able to go into Kansas City and beat Patrick Mahomes. Although Patrick Mahomes has been struggling this year, I still think not having Aaron Rodgers is everything. I mean, that's a big deal. So I'm gonna pick Kansas City in this one. I think that it could be a close one, but I do think that they win this one ultimately 31-21.
after Aaron Rodgers, decided to be a dumbass and left his team high and dry in what was really a massive game on the schedule and was supposed to be a good game on the schedule, the Chiefs and the Packers. It's question marks around this game now. However, like I said in the video that we released yesterday, we're going to see what life was like. We're going to see what life is like without Aaron Rodgers because the team is healthy. Jordan Love is going to be in there, so we'll see how he functions with that offense. Kansas City is awful. I'm not afraid to say it. Patrick is going through it right now. Just like the Cowboys, Packers handle business down their starting quarterback. I should say that more as a statement. Just like the Cowboys, the Packers handle business without their starting quarterback. I'm going Green Bay 28-24. The Packers defense, if the Packers defense, weren't as good as they are, maybe I'm going Kansas City here, but that Packers defense is good. What they were able to do against Kyler Murray and the Cardinals last week, I think they're able to replicate that and then some against the Kansas City Chiefs. Our next game, we got another division game. We got the Arizona Cardinals traveling to the Bay Area, to Santa Clara, to take on the San Francisco 49ers. What do you got for me?
Well, I know that there's some question marks about Kyler Murray right now. With his ankle injury, I'm not sure he's going to play. I think he's doubtful or maybe questionable. But even if he plays, it's really hard to play with a severe ankle injury. We've seen Jimmy try to play through it. We played them really, really close the last time that we played in Arizona. I was at that game, and we kept him. We were within striking distance pretty much the entire game. You know what? I'm going to say this is the upset of the week. I'm going to say San Francisco is able to get this one done. I'm going to say that we win this one in a close one, 27-24.
I like it. If everyone is healthy in this game, I think the game goes much like people's thinking, where it's going to go, where the Cardinals should dominate this game, right, and take that next step and keep pace with the Rams. However, right, there's a lot of question marks. There's a lot of question marks surrounding this game with injuries, right? What is going to happen? Jimmy G and that offense finally looked like them old selves last week. It was against the Bears. I know, but still, it's nice to see an offense get back on track somewhat. So, will it continue against the Cardinals? We're going to see. We are going to see. However, I'm going to take the Cardinals in a shootout. I had a score on my notes that I'm not going to do. I'm actually going to go lower. I had a high score. I'm going lower. I'm going to go 17-14. Cardinals win here in an absolute shootout. The first game was close, just like you said. Trey Lance played good. Didn't play great. He played good. We'll see. Maybe Kyle initiates the three-headed monster again. We shall see this week. This is going to be a very interesting week. This is going to be a very telling week, actually, honestly. Either the Niners are going to look like their season's turned around, or the Cardinals are going to look like the dominant team that they are. So we're going to get some answers to some questions this week. Very interesting. Moving on to the night game. We got the Tennessee Titans traveling to Los Angeles, to SoFi, to take on the Los Angeles Rams. What do you got for me?
Yeah, with this one I was going to pick the Titans. I certainly was going to, but once the best running back in the NFL, you lose him, it changes kind of the dynamic of your offense. Now you're having to rely on a tremendous Hall of Fame veteran, but who hasn't had many snaps in the last couple of years, and he's kind of up there in age. And not that, it's just going to be hard for him to kind of try to even come close to filling those shoes at this point in time. Because Derrick Henry's such a big threat. Yep. He just does so many things for you on the offense, opens up the play action, opens up the passing game, and also is always able to bulldoze and get you extra yards. I mean, he even threw a touchdown pass. Yep. So, I got to go with the Rams here. I mean, I just think that losing him is just a devastating injury. It's a devastating loss. I know even for myself, I have him in 2 of my fantasy leagues, and yeah, losing him, I'm 7-1 and 6-2. So
it's tough.
Losing him, yeah, it's tough. So I am going to pick the Rams here. I think that they get it done against Tennessee, 28-17.
I feel like a little kid and someone just stole my candy from me. I feel cheated, honestly, because I was so excited for this game this past Sunday. I was so excited that we were going to get to talk about this game. And then Derrick Henry just has to go and hurt his foot and need freaking foot surgery, and now he's gone. Completely deflated. So disappointed. So all I'm going to leave it is at this. Rams handle business at home against a surging Titans team. Los Angeles Rams, 38-21. Thanks, whoever's up there. Thanks for taking this game away from me. Our Monday night game, right? Our Monday night game. Holy moly. What is going on? What is going on here? We got the Chicago Bears traveling to Pittsburgh to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Oof. What do you got for me?
I'm actually going to go Chicago on this one. I think that Chicago finds a way to put some defense together. We saw some sparks from Fields over the weekend, but I think that they kind of figure out a way to put it together, and I think they get it done at the right time. I think that they beat Pittsburgh here in a close one, 28-24.
Yeah, the Bears and Justin Fields looked good last week, right? Without Matt Nagy. And if anybody watched the video yesterday, they know I am not high on Matt Nagy at all. So maybe next season they're going to have more success with a new head coach, I'm hoping. The Steelers are unfortunately trending up. So I'm going to go with the Steelers. I got the Pittsburgh Steelers. I can't believe it. 24-23, handling business at home against the Bears. Cannot believe I'm taking the Steelers. All right, and that's going to do it for another week's edition of Meat on the 50. As always, Brandon and I want to thank you, the viewer, right, for tuning in weekly, right? If this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the show. We're here every Friday, so come join us. Right? We hope to see you again, but as always, thank you guys so much for tuning in, for spending the time, investing the time, right? Brandon, any final thoughts for the people?
Just excited for another week, hoping that your Bengals and my 49ers can get a big victory so that we can have a nice victory Monday.
I like it.
And, hoping that you enjoy both of the videos that we put out for you this week, with our analysis on each team's grades, some of the takeaways that we provided, also some of the teams that we think are going to have a good second half and a bad second half, and all the picks. Hopefully, we keep an eye out on some of those picks, especially if you're doing those parlays, because we have had a really good season with all the picks that we've made.
I like it. As always, I want to thank you, sir, for your time, expectations, predictions, analysis, and thoughts. Like I've been saying, right, we can give you all of that. We can give you all of our thoughts, all of our analysis, predictions, expectations, all of that. But at the end of the day, it's on these players to lace it up, suit it up, take the field, and get the job done. Right? If you guys are liking what you are seeing, holy moly, smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, and then just tap on that bell notification. That way, anytime a new episode drops, and they're dropping every Tuesday and Friday, you're right there. You're right there to consume the content, because Brandon and I are always dropping the knowledge. We're always dropping it. It's right there, just right there on the floor. Right, look right down. It's right there. Right, just pick it up, shove it in that brain of yours, shake it around, and boom, better fantasy player, better knowledgeable football human being. Right, because if you're not growing, you are dying. Right, so smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, tap on that bell notification to stay up to date on all the latest content. Follow us on Twitter at FantasyTime2021. Follow us on Facebook at The Fantasy Guy 2021. And then follow us on YouTube at FantasyTime2021. Links, right? There's always links. Links are down in the description below for all the Google Sheets. I think it's just one. It's just one this week. Just one for Meat on the 50, okay? Relax. Don't hound me. We got one Google Sheet for you guys. Click on it, download it, check out all the information that we got on there for you. We got all the picks for the weeks. We got all our midseason grades on there. It is all updated for you. This has been an episode of Fantasy Time. I did this again. I think you're over here. This is one of my best friends, Brandon Sullivan, my partner in this journey of Fantasy Time, fantasy football, and sports in general. For Brandon Sullivan, I am Jacob Cutler, the Fantasy Guy. We shall see you guys next week. And don't drink and drive!